You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
This episode is a right spectacle. It reminded me of the Goblin Army attacking in Jim Henson's 1986 The Labyrinth, and had qualities to riff on reminiscent of the so bad it is good movie-going experience. It seems like something Tommy Wiseau would cobble together if given such a budget.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Anyway, let's have some fun. And so it begins. The battle for the Southlands has finally arrived, and one general, being Adar, must now face the daunting task of overcoming the fortified position that be the Elvish Tower. As Sun Tzu and history would suggest, the siege of a fortified position is not ideal. However, it would seem that Adar enjoys a considerable numerical advantage. More curious is what General Bronwyn will do. How will she react? Shall she follow the successes in defence, and as illustrated at Helms Deep, where the forces of King Theoden and Rohan, with the help of the Fellowship, vanquished a foe that outnumbered them 10-1? Or even the Battle of Pelennor Fields showcased how difficult and costly the prolonged siege of Minas Tirith would prove, and resulted in another comprehensive victory for the world of men.
I am no man.
That was awesome.
If deviating from fantasy and to history, perhaps General Bronwyn could emulate the great General Zhang Liao of the state of Cao Wei and his victory over Sun Quan at the Battle of Xiaoyou Ford between 214 and 215 AD. Here, Zhang Liao, Li Dian, and Yu Jin had 7,000 men available and inside the fortified Hefei fortress to repel the opposing army of Sun Wu with a numerical strength of roughly 100,000. Through successful raiding, a prolonged siege, and the onset of a plague, Sun Quan could only withdraw and concede defeat. If Adar is intent on besieging the Elven Watchtower, what will Bronwyn do?
Outrageous. Truly outrageous.
If Zhang Liao had done something similar, I can't see how it would not have led to an enraged Cao Cao leading him with a direct order for a swift beheading. Yes, the ambush was effective in dwindling some of their number, including the possibility of killing General Adar, but the strategy is heavily dependent on wiping out the majority of his legion. Now what? Have they another strong fortified position we've yet to learn about? Nope. Just the village? Perhaps Bronwyn has the availability of longbows and will seek to replicate the successes of Henry V at the Battle of Agincourt of 1415. At Agincourt, Henry V overcame the French, who enjoyed a numerical advantage of approximately 2-1, but it wouldn't seem like she has many handy warriors among her ranks, let alone a considerable number of longbowmen. Another historic battle where victory was achieved against the odds was the Battle of Morgarten 1315, where Swiss Confederates defeated an army thrice their size under Leopold I, the Duke of Austria. But there, the Swiss Confederates employed the use of halberds to great effect against the knights they opposed. With what likely remains of the large number of Adar's legion, how was this a sound strategy? Is this why we shouldn't have women in the military, or certainly not in positions of military authority?
Oh, you stink!
Of course I jest. There have been a number of prominent female warriors and in positions of leadership throughout history.
You know me. My name's Harriet Tubman.
Although, and when it comes to prominent female leaders in history, the queen of the British Celtic icon tribe, Boudicca, who mostly annihilated the Roman 9th Legion, is the first that comes to mind. The Southlands could certainly use someone of Boudicca's ilk. As for Bronwyn, it has proven a mostly horrific debut in command. We shift to the expeditionary force that departed from Numenor. Isildur and Alicia, our namesake Galadriel, share a moment that seeks to present her with some humility. Good luck with that. And we learn from Captain Elendil that his wife previously drowned. I guess the sea is always right? Of course, and returning to the Southlands, day has broken, and Adar's legion has since done nothing.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
Perhaps I'm being too harsh to General Adar. Perhaps, and if he's injured, there is no remaining command structure within the ranks of his legion of orcs. Nevertheless, it was most kind of the legion to grant the Southlanders this respite to reinforce. That pesky sun and all. You need be only better than your enemy or less incompetent. Something along those lines. And if you can humour me while I traverse history or tumble down the rabbit hole, perhaps Adar's second in command are a pairing of dithering Union generals, the likes of William F. Smith and Quincy A. Gilmore, who both, and when faced with a far smaller and scattered Confederate army across the Dimmock line of Petersburg, failed to act, presenting Pierre-Gustave Totot Beauregard with enough time to reinforce. These oversights led directly to the siege of Petersburg and the prolonging of the American Civil War. Oh, and back to the village, Orindia seeks to destroy the hilt, but it is beyond our skill to destroy.
The ring cannot be destroyed, Gimli, son of Gloin, by any craft that we here possess.
We come to learn there is a conveniently placed main bridge to the village that could be used as a means to limit Adar's legion's numerical advantage. Yes, it reeks of desperation. What if the legions seek a different path and don't meander aimlessly into their trap? It isn't ideal to depend on who leads the legion to make yet another costly mistake, and returning to another bungling Civil War general, and to replicate the failings of Union General Ambrose E. Burnside, who at Antietam 1862 fed his 9th Corps across the bridge piecemeal, suffering horrific casualties, and more importantly, considerable delays.
I was on the other side of the bridge that day. You want to call that a glorious victory? Go ahead.
I mean, this is 1862, and the era of horses and muskets, where enfilading fire served a critical tactic in that form of warfare. But what else can the defenders really do at this point? Yes, I know I'm reaching, and even falling down a rabbit hole again here, indulging in my passion for history. And yes, I could do this all day.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
As for General Bronwyn and General Orindia, well, they just let the Legion cross unabated. And then... the creators here, and for mind, get an E for ingenuity. At least, and for once, they are being original. With that said, and while a spectacle, it is of little effect, as the orcs, once no longer stumbling aimlessly around in a stupor, simply kick the debris and press forward, as if it were a minor hindrance and nothing more. The carnage then ensues, with the villagers springing their ambush. We get the obligatory Orindia heroics until he encounters a much larger orc. Before this larger orc kills him, Bronwyn appears and saves the day. The star-crossed lovers then re-emerge to find the villagers cheering over their perceived victory. But uh-oh, it would seem Adar isn't a complete idiot, and the villagers learn that most whom lie vanquished are those villagers who earlier defected. Match point goes to Adar.
You don't have to apologize. A simple singing of the wrong song is all I need.
You were right, so right, and we were oh so wrong. You are smart, and we are dumb, that's why we sing this song.
As for General Bronwyn, once again, both she and Orindia are letting down the home team. Why should I let it go if even Orindia cannot? You have no keep, you bloody fool. Oh, the farmer from episode 1 is then shot, and then Bronwyn is hit twice. Will they be so bold to kill off General Bronwyn?
Hey, I doubt it.
See? Even Theo knows it. Recovering the wounded peering inside. Oh no, the farmer from episode 1 then dies from his wounds. He was my favourite. Rest easy knowing you will not face season 2. Conveniently, only one arrow appears to remain lodged in Bronwyn's person. Of course, and against best practice, they remove the arrowhead and let her bleed out.
Not a great plan.
Upon cauterizing the wound and a death fake out, the orcs, led by Adar, finally make their move, seeking to bring down the barricades, pressing forward with a battering ram. And no, it is no Grond, but... We then cut away to Alicia leading the Numenorean expeditionary forces across the countryscape.
Yeah, it's like poetry, sort of they rhyme.
And with the sun rising, the inevitable draws near for Adar and his legion. Before Bronwyn is killed, Theo surrenders the mystery box. Through the use of awkward ADR, Adar hands Waldrick the hilt, and then the Numenoreans arrive. Re the orcs and their challenges with the sun, never again addressed. Why no urgency on Adar's part to vacate and seek shelter?
Stupid! You're so stupid!
I guess the little hoods are enough to shield them from the sun's rays, like a rain jacket. In the end, it doesn't matter. The plot now demands a battle and their timely routing. We receive more stunning and brave attempts to prop up our warrior goddess that looks wonderfully ridiculous. Alicia's strength is all powerful that an orc even explodes upon her strike. Isildur, among the reserves, receiving Queen Regent Muriel's permission, enters the fold and rushes to his father's aid. With Halbrand saving Elendil, Isildur and Elendil have a brief moment before we return to Alicia and her pursuit of Adar, who is now in flight. With Halbrand's assistance somehow appearing in the opposite direction, what, did he teleport? Or did Adar just ride in a circle? Who cares? He's Sauron and he can be many things, so whatever. He fells Adar and stabs his hand before Adar can retrieve the decoy mystery box. Before Halbrand can deliver a killing blow, Alicia intervenes and he concedes. Back at the village, Alicia interrogates Adar in an old barn. Adar tells her what became of Sauron post-Morgoth's defeat and claims he killed Sauron when the cost had grown too great, with too many of his children killed in service of Sauron's ambition. As he preaches of seeking a home for his brethren, and as Alicia shows more of her uglier and hate-filled self, with her obsession to kill each and every last orc, could she be Sauron? Could she create a new Sauron? Adar implies that she could, and persists to provoke until Halbrand intervenes.
Yeah, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
We then get the insulting and vacuous shipping of this construct's Galadriel and Sauron, where Sauron expresses his feelings for her, and she briefly reciprocates before old Halbrand is cock-blocked by a messenger. Are we sure this wasn't initially written for Days of Our Lives and then repurposed? We then have a moment of female empowerment between Queen Regent Muriel and General Bronwyn. What I owe you, our people are alive because of you, as I understand it. They are alive because of you. Queen Regent Muriel then introduces to Bronwyn the king that was promised, and upon her recognising the insignia hanging from Lord Halbrand's waist, he's hailed as the true king of the Southlands. And of course, and to make Alicia look even more intellectually stupid, intentionally, she hadn't even bothered to examine the retrieved mystery box. We then get another scene with Theo now emulating a Bilbo or Gollum over perceived loss.
Mine.
He has this longing to hold the mystery box once again. The show, the writing in particular, is such a load of crap. Even Arindia literally says, then rid yourself of it once and for all.
And let us be rid of it. Once and for all.
Fuck this show. We get the reveal and then the scene shifts to Waldreg, who uses it as a key to activate Deus Ex Machina style an elaborate eruption of sorts, and that culminates in a volcanic explosion. We now have our Mount Doom and the village's ensuing destruction.
Boy. That escalated quickly.
We close on Alicia being engulfed by the smoke and flame. I'm sure she will be fine, just a little magma flow.
Just a flesh wound.
Yes, another mostly awful and trite episode, masquerading as something that loosely resembles Tolkien. However, the battle itself veered, at least at times, into the so bad it is good territory. The rest of it, just nope. The good news is there's only 2 more to go. Just 2 more to go. And yet another season. It honestly blows my mind how this shambles could endure and force another season upon us. And so, the show must go on.